Gotta do yours right.
Yeah. I started off and then you can go into it. But you'll see where I'm going though. Alright, so what's up, family? Check this out. Me and my man Cali, y'all know Cali, been going at it hard for a while.
Right.
We just been talking about some of the things that we face, some of the questions that we get, some of the rhetoric that we receive, coming away from religion, just from different people, different questions and things like that. So we're gonna call this video, because we're playing tic-tac-toe, we're gonna call it the X's and O's of the ridiculous religious rhetoric that we receive. All right, so.
I'm ready.
All right, so yeah, so Cali was just talking about number one, prayer. What was some stuff that you get about prayer?
When we deal with prayer, right? So what I ask people is, what does prayer actually do? What does it actually do? What the way I think, right? I look at what's been going on since the beginning of time, right? And I say, what are people actually praying for? In the book, it tells you, there's like 3 different verses. It tells you, if you pray for this in my name, whatever you pray for and you believe in my name, it shall be granted. I will make it happen for you, right?
Facts.
You have to believe. That's what it tells you, right? So I say, what are y'all praying for? Because it's since the beginning of time, there's been war, there's been hate, there's been sickness, nobody's praying to stop this. What are you praying for?
Themselves. And that's what I be trying to say. It's like, you would think that a person's whole life, it's been their whole life in prayer, right?
Yeah.
That they would learn to have unselfish prayers by now. And when you're dealing with people dying on a large scale, most people pray for themselves. God, give me safe travels to work. And it's like, how can, for me, even as a Christian, bro, before I woke up from religion, I stopped praying. I said I refused because I felt like, it's so much going on in this world, man. And I just saw how much worse people were living than what I thought. I went to Cuba. And then I realized that Americans, man, we complain, but we don't have it nearly as bad.
Right.
And there's places that's worse than Cuba.
Right.
So when I got back home to America, I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't even feel comfortable asking you for anything, God. At least I'm in a country where I can go get it on my own. At least. Even though I might be at a disadvantage due to how I look and the paradigm that all of us are taught in this Western world.
Right.
I still got a better chance than some of these people. And so I was just like, I'm not asking you for anything else because there's people who are going to starve to death.
That's right.
They live in places where they got to walk 4 or 5 miles for dirty water. And I get that I can get pulled over and be treated unfairly.
Right.
But at least I can go get a job and I got water coming out of my sink. So I was like, you know what? They can't imagine that. And I'm like, so you can't even help them probably because I'm in the way. So I'm not asking you for anything else.
Right.
And a lot of believers, this ain't hit them yet. It's like your God allows other people to suffer. And it's not individual suffer. If you live in a demographic where there's no water, you're not going to have it either. Nobody's going to have a sink.
Right.
Nobody. So it's not an individual thing. So why are you wasting this God's time?
Yeah, and it's crazy because and that's what you'll hear me say. That's what you'll hear me come in and I'll say, please explain to me, how did you get on the VIP list for your God?
Right.
Because you'll hear people say, it's all about prayer. And he showed up for me and he showed up, and I say, well, what happened to that little girl? That 6-year-old girl? Because I can never forget this. What happened to that 6-year-old girl who was in the church house with people praying to Jesus, with people praying to God? She got raped in the bathroom by a grown man in his house. So, you got the people in Charlotte. Was it Charlotte?
Charlotte.
Yeah, come on. Like, them people got shot in the church praying to Jesus. The 13-year-old girl gets raped in the church.
Talking about Charleston.
Yeah, the shooting. Dylan Roof or whatever. Like, 13-year-old girl gets raped in the church. Like, you're not even protecting your own house. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Your own house.
Right.
And this is the Savior I'm waiting on? This is the Savior I'm waiting on?
And they still take the time out to pray with this idea that their God is going to answer their individual prayer. So like you said, what gives you this leverage, man?
Yeah.
That God would answer you and let everybody else suffer, man. That is crazy. Because we make excuses for it.
It's almost a arrogance.
Right.
Like, it's almost like an arrogance. And it's like, you are so arrogant that this God or this, really looked at you and said, hey, listen, I know it's people over there starving. I see the kids over there. But you're more important right now. Let me make sure you catch this bus to work. You get what I'm saying? Like, come on. Like, at what point do we start saying that? Listen, this stuff has been going on before. I mean, people been praying forever.
You know what really tripping me out about prayer though? It's how they flip it on you. Like say if they go to you and they say, you've been having problems in your body, right? You've been having bad headaches or your back or anything wrong with your body, some kind of ailment, right? And they go to pray for you. Now, the Bible tells them that in the end, they will have the power to heal the sick and raise the dead. Like they will have so much faith that they will be able to just do these things. Wow. But they'll go and pray for you. And if you don't get your healing, you had a lack of faith. And it's always an excuse for why God didn't answer. You know, so they'll tell you that you, like, I'm praying for you to get this job. But if you don't get the job, it's because you don't believe. You don't. And so they'll ask you to believe first. And they don't realize how ridiculous that sounds. Because if you ask them to believe in something first, they wouldn't do it. Especially if you ask them to believe in another God. So they say, but if you just believe in Jesus, he will show up. I know because I tried him and he works. Have you ever tried Ganesha? Ganesha is an elephant. And he is known as the remover of obstacles. And people pray to him when they have something in their way that they won't remove. And people believe that he removes it. They believe that he comes and he removes these obstacles out of their way. He is the God of obstacles. So have you ever tried Ganesha? Right. So you haven't. So then you don't know anything about Ganesha. So you can teach Jesus over Ganesha because you haven't tried him. Yeah. See, this type of logic, it now inserts that I have to try every God in order to find which one to believe in. So you tried Jesus, but hey, I tried Ganesha. Yeah, I tried Krishna.
I didn't even know about Ganesha.
Right.
But you see what I'm saying? Absolutely. We were never introduced to Ganesha. We were never introduced to any other gods. Like to say, wait, let me check all of them out. You
tried the one God you knew about, and you're saying it works.
And then you're telling me this is the one right one. So now we move into, how do you know?
Right.
How do you know?
Do you hear him pray back when you pray? Do you hear him talk back?
And I just asked a question. The other day. I said, for everybody that's heard God speak to them, what did the voice sound like? Did it sound familiar to you? You know what I'm saying? Right. We have to just really, ask simple questions. Simple questions. And we can start with, is religion a belief? You can start with, is it better to know or to believe?
Do you know?
Would you rather know or would you rather believe? I think I would rather know something than believe. We don't go through life like this. We don't go through everyday life just believing.
Well, see, here's the problem, man. When you ask them, do they believe or do they know? They know that they just believe. They know that it's not known. That's why they say, I believe, right? I have faith. The problem is, though, what evidence do you have to support your belief? And this is when all the ridiculous stuff comes. I had an experience. I felt it. You said something a while ago, man, and this is what made us pull out the cameras. Kelly was just like, how do you know what God feels like? Just think about this. It's like, what is God? Like, I felt him. How do you know what a God would feel like if you don't even know what he talks like? How do you know that a touch of God wouldn't hurt? Like, how do you know this? It's like we take every little feeling and say it's God. That's what is really happening. That's what's more likely happening. Because if I get chills in a church, Jesus touched me. Ooh, I felt that. Yeah. But if I get chills while I'm watching the Rocky movie, it ain't Jesus. If I get chills when it's cold outside, it's either cold. Yeah. Right? But so we know that you can hear certain things that make you get chills, hear certain music or whatever. Right. And you don't give that or attribute that to Christ in every situation. Right. You only do when it's convenient for you. Right. If you listen to a gospel song or you're sitting in a church, it feels exactly like chills, no freaking difference. And that's what so how is that God?
Yeah, and like you were saying about the unicorn. I agree with you. You was just saying, you told somebody it was a unicorn. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't God, it was a unicorn, right? Somebody tells you, no, I did the same thing. How do you know it wasn't a unicorn? Right. You feel what I'm saying? I did the same thing. A sister told me it was God that woke us up. God does everything. I said, sister, tell me about this God. Tell me about him. You know what I'm saying? What do you know about this God? I said, sister, what if I told you it was some aliens on Mars that's playing a video game that wakes you up every morning? What would you say to me? She told me, I would say, prove it. I said to her, that's all I be asking y'all to do. Same way you was talking about the unicorn, where you were saying, how do you know it's not a unicorn?
Right. When Christians be like, well, who created the universe? And you can just tell them, well, you don't know. But they're going to feel like that's a checkmate. You don't know.
Yeah.
So that means that the one thing I read about is true. No. So instead of saying that, I just say a purple unicorn. And they be like, no way, because obviously I didn't tell them what they wanted to hear. Now they're shocked. So it was a purple unicorn. What do you have to say?
And
there's no way it was a purple unicorn. How can you say that?
How do you know?
How can you know that God is not? Because
Exactly.
he could be both. It could be both. God can be God and a purple. In other words, a purple unicorn can be God and still be responsible for everything that you see in this world.
Could be.
But you want to deny that.
Could be.
And here's the crazy thing. You don't have any bounds to. You don't know what he looks like or anything.
Exactly.
It could very well be a pink bunny, a purple rabbit. It could be anything. A green hippo.
Yeah.
It could be something we never saw. Like I once did a video where it showed what does God look like, and it was some weird looking being with like 18 legs, just something built weird. You can't deny that because you don't have a clue.
You don't know.
Right.
So that's what I was telling the brother in the conversation with him. He tells me, Jehovah this and Jehovah that. I say, okay, let's talk about that. What does he look like?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about him. What does this Jehovah look like, right? Well, no man has ever seen Jehovah's face. And well, fine. Forget the face. What does the body look like? How many arms you got? How many legs? You know.
Facts.
What is it? Well, he's a spirit. No. So, sir, you're telling me he's invisible? Yeah, he's invisible. Well, how do you know you're experiencing a God? You can't even identify what you're experiencing. You can't identify.
You can't identify outside of yourself what you experience, and you can't prove it to anyone.
You can't prove
it's like
it.
this, like you said. Cali mentioned a pregnant woman, and I thought this was like an absolute just the bomb. He talked about how if a woman is pregnant, she'll have a way to be able to validate that outside of herself. Right? They have different tools now that you can use. You can, pee on them and stuff like that, right? And they'll tell you if you're pregnant. You can go to the doctor and get all these different things checked, and they can tell you when you're pregnant. You can even get ultrasounds now and all this stuff. And outside of that, before they had that, they would do different ancient things that could actually tell them if you were pregnant or not, which is absolutely unreal. But let's just say you go back to a time where we don't have anything to test pregnancy. There should still be some point to where it's validated, right? At some point, you should start showing.
Some point.
Your period ain't gonna come on no more, right? Probably you're gonna retain some water, right? We know things that happen whenever hair and nails gonna be vibrant as crap, right? You're gonna be glowing. We know what it looks like when mammals become pregnant. Like we know this, right? So if a woman's going around saying, I'm pregnant, and you say, okay, well, pee on this, right? Let's validate it. No, but just know I'm pregnant.
Right.
Okay, you won't prove it, okay, because you just know. Okay, fine, that's fine. But now we're watching.
Yeah.
3 months later, we don't see any signs. Now, it's possible. Some women don't show signs.
Right.
Some people don't show signs their entire pregnancy.
Yeah.
But at some point, there gotta be a baby. There's gotta be a baby, yo.
Something.
There's got to be. And what Christians or believers are essentially doing is saying, I believe in God, I have a God, and you can't prove it outside of yourself. You have no way. You can't show it, and it's never going to come to fruition. And you're going to die still trying to convince people of this non-existent thing. That's what's crazy. So if you can't prove it outside of yourself, then how do you get the audacity to try to ask somebody else to believe in it?
Right, and that's my thing. That's my thing. I don't know. Okay, listen, you're grown.
Mm-hmm.
You're a grown adult. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. You believe this. Now I'm just asking you, why should I believe this? Just because you believe this. You believe this. You can't verify any of this. You can't verify any of this. So it's pretty much a grown-up fairy tale. Until you can prove it. Until you can prove these claims. This book has a lot of claims. All I'm asking you is prove it. Like, I'm not just gonna believe just because you believe it. That's fine. I believe something else.
Facts.
Why don't you believe what I'm asking you to believe? If I ask you to believe Casper the Friendly Ghost, why do you have a hard time believing Casper the Friendly Ghost?
Absolutely.
But you want me to believe. Why do you tell a kid the boogeyman ain't real, but you want him to believe you're a devil? Like, how do we do this, man?
Absolutely.
How do we do this? So it's like real simple questions, and it just makes me say, gosh, like, at what point do we ask these simple questions and wake up?
And because like we were talking about earlier, we don't necessarily think that one has to take all the history classes in the world
Not at all.
just to be able to wake
Not
up
at
from
all.
religion, because we know that's not how we got it. We
Not
got
at
it
all.
by simply believing in what everybody else was around us doing and the stuff that they used to say to put us back to sleep. Right? But we still get people who come at us with all this rhetoric, right? Religious literature, because they have studied, right? And people often wonder, like, how do you handle that? And so I want to talk about that. So we get a lot of people who come and say, well, I got all this information and literature, right? Mm-hmm. And the question still remains, though, why do you believe it? Because that's where I was with religion. It was like, I went from literature to literature and studied history. That's why I know it. But then it hit me, where is God now? Like, I'm chasing all these books, and everything I read, another man wrote it. Right. So it's like you can look up every literature that seems to back Christianity and end up on the side that Christianity is real, because you're saying scholars got you there. Scholars, people who went to school and have a government certificate to prove that they learned something. But Islam has scholars, right? Hinduism has scholars. So you didn't read none of their information that proves Allah real. Right. None of the Hindu information that proves Brahma and Krishna and Ganesha, all of them come from the same religion. Right? But you want to say, I'm going to keep mine because this is scholarly information. Isn't that scholarly information? So why do you believe this scholar over that one? And what about the religious scholars who are religious scholars because they're scholarly in religion, but they do not believe that this religion happened? They just understand religion. Studying religion and believing in religion is two different things. Right. So a lot of scholars don't believe in Jesus. Yeah. So if you got scholars who do and scholars who don't with the same information, doesn't that tell you it's not 100% across the board? Yeah. And here's the problem. Most of these scholars who are going through it, really all of them, are being biased. They want this stuff to be true. You don't find somewhere in another country go search religion and come out and say, I searched them all and Jesus is the only one. And then when you see people transition from religion to religion, they didn't do it based on proven fact either. They did it over which one sounded the best to them. Like they'll convert from Christianity to religion, Christianity to Allah or Islam and say, well, Islam worked better for me. It sounded better to me. Like when you hear Wakila tell her story, she'll be like, I was in Islam and I was told I couldn't sing. I couldn't voice because she has a beautiful voice. And then she said, as soon as she comes to Christianity, it's like, that's a gift God gave you and that's your purpose. And for her, it was like, wow, so this one thing that they've been telling me to keep in me, this is what God wanted me. She didn't care anything about.
For a reason.
Right. But I'm saying she didn't care anything about, is this person real? Like, she just said, well, the Quran do talk about Jesus too, so that's an easy transition. Mm-hmm. So Jesus must be true if two books talk about him, but what she didn't realize is that's also an Abrahamic religion. There's another one, Judaism. They all come from a man called Abraham. Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with the realities of them, because the same book that says that God spoke to Abraham in this way, now in the Quran, he speaks to Abraham in a totally different way. He has Abraham climb a mountain, rip the wings off a freaking bird, or chop it up into pieces, and throw this bird up, and then Allah brings it back together and has it fly out, but then tell him, don't tell nobody, or don't take nobody with him so he can't see it. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So, but basically, people can leave one religion and go to another solely because it feels better for them. And they go into Hinduism the same way.
And everything is basically a feel-good doctrine. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then you have to look at things like the excuses. The excuses, man. We wait for the excuses. Sometimes I ask questions just to sit and wait for the excuses, because it's a lot of stuff that go like. And I'm trying to figure this out, and then this is what I tell people: there is no way you can follow that book and make it into a heaven. If we're going to entertain a heaven or a hell, there's no way you can. I can tell you one thing right now, because we got to remember, one sin isn't bigger than the other. Sin is sin, right? Sin is sin. You can't love the devil and get into heaven, but you can't hate the devil and get into heaven. How do you get into heaven?
It's got to be neutral. Now, if you're about the devil, you got to be like,
Did you hate this? Because in the book it tells you, that's one thing. That's just one thing. It tells you to love your enemy. I asked Pastor, is the devil your enemy or is it your friend? You told me he was your enemy. Why don't you love him? You're being disobedient to the book, right? You're being disobedient to God's word, right? Because you say this is God's word. You're being disobedient. You can't hate the devil. Mm-hmm. If that was your chance to get into heaven, if that was the moment, this question right here gets you into heaven or sends you to hell.
And like you said, it's riddled with contradictions. It's like Okay.
And that's one. That's just one.
Right, that's just one. And you can show them blatant ones and they'll still argue. That's why I say it's ridiculous rhetoric, because honestly, it leaves the realm of reality. You talk to them, okay, God says do not kill, right? And then they try to say, well, murder ain't killing. It's like, look, bro,
Right.
taking someone's life, okay,
The excuses.
it's the same thing. Like, you can say,
excuses.
like, okay, if you want to twist it and say murder, kill, like, it's just, you playing with the word. But if someone is, say, raping you, and you take their life, you're defending yourself.
Right.
But your God told you to go to people when they were asleep and stab them and kill them. And you're saying because it was a verdict of God,
Right.
then you committing that act is not murder. Okay. Why is it that if I'm a drug lord or a kingpin in the streets, if I send you to go kill somebody for me and they catch you killing somebody, are you not going to jail for that murder, bro?
Right.
Now I'm going too because I told you to do it. But they ain't gonna say you're completely absolved of all applications against you. You are completely free because you were told to do this. And frankly, that's not murder, that's killing.
That's
Nobody's
crazy.
gonna do that.
That's crazy.
And for a God to have all the power in the world, he can just snap his fingers like Thanos.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
He literally can snap his fingers like Thanos, and all the people he wants to die will die. But instead he says, you go kill him. Now what about the PTSD that you might suffer from killing him? What about that? You don't think then if you walked up and stabbed your cousin and brother, friend, family, people who was enslaved with you for all these years in their heart, stabbed them and killed them, you wouldn't worry, you wouldn't be traumatized about that?
Right.
Man, you're gonna be messed up. So now what? You gotta deal with that because God mad? Because I mean it's so crazy, bro. And it's one thing after another.
It's excuse. Let's talk about excuses, right? Please, let's talk about the good and bad slavery of the Bible. Please help me understand how the good slavery, the employment slavery, because we get it. Slavery, it wasn't like it was.
Right.
It was the boss and the employer. Yeah, please explain, because
So
the employees was getting whooped. Like,
So if you were to explain slavery the way they would prefer slavery be explained, let's say you owe me money. You owe me $20,000, right? Okay. You're gonna say, hey, Kev, my son's gonna come work for you until that $20,000 is worked off because I can't pay you.
Okay.
So whenever it's worked off, send my son back. So I just bought your son from you. The same way as your company buys you at work, right? But here's the thing. When your son come and live with me, I treat him like a son. You're working off an honest debt.
Yeah.
That's totally different. It's like me saying, bro, I can't give you that $240, but I'll cut your grass or something. I come over every 2 weeks and hook you up. You see what I'm saying? And you be like, that'll work because you had to pay somebody else to do it anyway. That's what chattel type slavery, that type of slavery would work like. But this is not the Bible slavery.
That's
the
not
Bible's
it.
like, after 7 years, he may go free. Unless he have a baby, and then in that case, the baby can never go free. It belongs to the slave masters forever. Now let's just say your son comes and lives with me for a year. Now, I'm on game.
come on with it.
Now, you only owe me 20 grand, but hey, your son, he kind of hefty, right? He got good stock.
Right.
So I'm gonna use your son, right? I'm gonna have him sleep with all my little slave maids, right? And I'm gonna have a bunch of kids by him.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give your son back, and I'm straight because I own these slaves forever, though.
Yeah.
Please tell me what they owe, because they be like, wait, it's only if you owe somebody a debt. Please tell me what that
They
child
owe you.
owed that slave
Yeah,
master, that he
that's
owns
right.
them forever. Please tell me what that wife owed, that she owed forever. Why is only the man go free? Why is that? Because it's not the slavery you're talking about.
Yeah.
You're still talking about controlling and manipulating
That's
people.
right.
And for a God to create that type of system to where you can have permanent slaves and they never did anything. You can be born into slavery, bro. And that's in the Bible.
In the Bible.
And you can justify this.
And
Now,
you-
we ain't even
and
talk
they
about women
will
and hanging
come
them.
with it.
Right.
They
I'm talking
come
about,
with
bro,
it.
we ain't even mentioned beating them and if
We
they
ain't
died
even got
2
to
days
the
later.
beating.
We're just
You're
talking
right.
about the fact that you can own them. That's not slavery.
When you could simply,
Come on, man.
When you could have simply said, "Thou shalt not own and by other humans." You get what I'm
Which
saying?
it did.
You could have.
But then it told you how to own humans. So it says any person who owns humans or is caught stealing a man, he should be put to death. It says that. So Christians can use that scripture. They say it doesn't condone slavery. You're right. But it also does. And that's the problem. It's called a contradiction.
So it's a contradiction.
Right.
Yeah.
Blatant.
Which would be a mistake. Which would make you have to ask.
And if you look at all the scriptures that condone slavery and look at the one that doesn't, what does the Bible want? Slavery, bro. Go into this kingdom, kill all the Amalekites, kill all the men, kill all the women who have known a man. kill all the boys, kill all the animals, but all the women who have not known a man, keep
them
for yourself. Is that not slavery? Okay, David, I gave to you all Saul's wives. What? I gave to you all Saul's wives? What is that?
That's right.
So you tell me Saul's wives was like, yeah, we all want to go be with David. Every last one of us.
If that's against their will, hey, I was happy where I was at.
Right. How can you give somebody else's wives though?
Hey, that sounds like slavery to me.
And then he said, I would have gave you more if you had asked for it. Then where would you have got it from? Because you didn't make nothing for him.
That's crazy.
Everything you gave this man, you took from somebody else. Dude, you a thief. The Bible's God is a freaking thief, bro.
Listen.
It's crazy.
And that's what I just made a post today. And I said, why don't these pastors preach on that? They don't preach on the bad of the Bible. They don't preach on that. Everything that comes out of that Bible is good.
That's why when he say you coming like a thief in the night, I'm like, why not? You had enough practice, bro.
Yeah.
You've been stealing from everybody your whole life.
So you have to look at things that go on around us in this world, right? Rape and this and that. You know, like it's like, well, hey, it's in the book. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to go with that book. That book. I'm saying this. If this book is so important to everybody, why don't this book hold any weight outside of the religion? Outside, you go in the courtroom, that book don't hold no weight.
They have you swear on it, but that's about it. Because let's just say it does, though. Do you swear what you about to say is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Watch this. I do. Watch this. Why did you kill such and such? The devil told me to do it. You get locked up.
See if it works.
No, God told me to do it. Are they gonna say, well, if God told you to do it, that's not murder? You going to jail, bro.
Show me where
you going to jail.
Somebody show me somebody that wanted.
That's why it be ticking me off, bro. You go, they don't work in reality. So it's like you trying to put your belief into a reality realm. R-E-A-L-M. The root word is real.
Yeah.
Is it real? So what we know is, in this realm is real stuff. Anytime you're trying to believe in something and you can't find it in reality or base it off reality, you are irrational. Virgins don't have babies, bro. They don't. And so if you believe in that and you've never seen that in reality, you're being irrational, bro. Yeah, you're being irrational because it's not rational. To believe that. You believe somebody walked on water. Have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen anybody raised from the dead? Have you ever heard of God speak? Not once, right? So why you believe it?
Why do you believe
Why, man? That's crazy. It's like if I hear Wolverine had adamantium claws enough, I'ma believe it. That's stupid.
And then it's just like, and that's what I'm saying. You have to ask yourself at some point in time, why do I, as a grown adult, just believe this? I ask people, where did you get that from? Who told you that? Why do you believe it? Where else can I research that at? You feel what I'm saying? Like, where else can I go? Oh, that sounds very inspiring. So I asked him, did Jesus die on a cross for real? In reality? Where did this happen at? I'm waiting for you to tell me yes, because now I'm finna ask you, where else can I go check that out? You know what I'm saying? Let me, I get it, it's in your book. That sounds like history right there. What just happened. Let me go see who else wrote about this.
Because that's the problem. It's all history. Everything you read about any God is some old stuff they done. Right? Isn't that crazy? Anything you hear about any old ghost that your grandparents tell you about, it's always something old. Why don't any of these things do nothing now? So I say it's just as irrational to believe in demons. It's just as irrational to believe in ghosts if you never saw one. So I say, okay, right now this house has a basement. If I hear something in the basement, and I assume it's a raccoon, that's rational. Raccoons exist in this reality. Dude, I could even assume it's a polar bear. It'd be ridiculous, but at least polar bears exist, bro. I can think it's a sloth. Not likely, bro. They're not even here. They're in Africa. But they exist. But if I think it's a dang demon, bro, that's a problem. You've never saw one. It's irrational. If you think it's the ghost of your Christmas past or your auntie, that's a problem, as you've never saw one. So you have to ask yourself, where did I get these beliefs from? Where did I get this from? I had to hear about a ghost to believe in one. I had to hear about a demon to believe in one. These are all imaginative thoughts that you're pressing on reality. There's no way you can prove this stuff is actually existent other than your imagination. So let's just come away from it all, because your God is in the same place as Freddy Krueger. I never thought about Freddy Krueger or feared him till I was taught about it. Now, fear is powerful, though. Because you can watch grown-ups, bro.
No doubt.
It's videos now where grown-ups be coming downstairs in like parking lots, and they see a girl dressed like the girl off The Ring, and they'll just drop everything and start running. Like subconsciously, you know they know that The Ring is just a movie. You know they know this little girl didn't fall in a well in real life and really can come out of TVs in real life. Okay, the same thing. They see different people dressed up like evil characters. And when they see this, in the state of fear, they all act like these people really exist. They get scared and run. And they know these people are not really real in reality. That's the power of fear. People accept religion the same way, bro. So they tell you you're going to hell, you're going to die. And they get you scared as heck. And before you know it, you're like, I believe. Dude, these people, man, I saw one dude throw his girl on the ground and run off because the chick on the ring was coming over. And this is really a girl. Wow. So he probably could overpower her. He's a strong guy, right? Wow. His girl jumped on him and he threw her off of him on the ground and took off running. Now it's showing these people are scaring everybody. She walking up beside people on treadmills and they look over and see the girl on the ring thing and he fall off the treadmill scared as crap. Because in a moment's notice, your brain is not using reason. So you can get the brain out of using reason by scaring it just enough. See, right now, if me and you sitting here and some little monster came from around this corner, it would scare the crap out of us. Even though we know they don't exist, bro, in this reality, we know they don't. But your brain at that moment doesn't think that way. It don't say, wait a second, The Ring is just a movie. It was shot in 1991. It was called Ringo first, or Ringu in Japan. There's no way this girl really exists. And I haven't even saw the little 7-minute movie for her to even be after me. All this stuff should have reconciled in your brain. But you first thought, let me get out of here. Yeah. That's how religion works, bro. That's how people run to Jesus. Think about it. It's not promised tomorrow. Hell is 7 times hotter than the oven. You sitting in the church listening to all this stuff. That's right. God calling y'all. I promise you. And they'll name somebody who got called and didn't take the message and now they dead or something like that. And it just scare you into going up there. And you still didn't get no proof. And so, when they pray for you and you say the sinner's prayer, you feel relief. So you say, I felt it when I asked God to come into my heart. You felt relief. Because they told you when you repeat after me, you will be saved from this place.
And that's all
and so somebody told me the other day, they said, bro, you talking about me and you. Man, y'all be going in on religion, but y'all appear desperate to destroy religion. I said, bro, desperate is praying to a God that you never saw to save you from a hell that you never saw. That's desperate. You praying to a God you never saw to save you from a hell you never saw.
Never.
And you call us desperate?
Yeah.
That's the definition. That should be the definition of desperate, bro.
That's crazy. And all we trying to do is get people to wake up and think, man. Like,
that's like somebody without teeth praying to the tooth fairy. Like, you don't even have teeth. This tooth fairy will have no use for you. You don't have proof of either. So just imagine that, bro. Why you praying to a God that never talked back? Like I said, kids was praying to Dracula, praying to keep vampires from him. And this guy don't let them know that vampires don't exist. He don't talk to nobody. So I tell people like this. If you coming to me with a God that I never heard of, it's hogwash. Because if a God want to talk to me, he'll talk to me himself. And have you ever noticed that every God you hear about, you got to hear from somebody else. God shouldn't work like that. Not gods, not special beings shouldn't work like that, bro.
Why do I have to go through you? Why does somebody have to go through you? It's crazy,
like,
man.
Look up. It's a bird. It's a plane. Everybody see it. Look up. Everybody should see it. It's not, it's a bird and a plane, but you can't see it, but I can. No, everybody's saying it's Superman. We all can see that. But you asked me to believe he up there and ain't nothing up there. You like, it's right there, bro. You ever had somebody try to point something out to you and you're like, it's right there. You like, where?
I don't see it, man.
You over here, you like, it's right there. Before you know it, you don't see nothing. You gonna be like, bro, you're lying. You just playing me, bro.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing.
And that's all we trying to get people to do, man. It ain't about us being desperate. We desperate to try to get our people to wake up. That's like, y'all don't understand, like, the passion we have. Once you wake up, and it's crazy because once you wake up out of this, and you see the people who can't wake up out of it, it like hurts. Mm-hmm. It hurts like bad. Like, I mean, y'all gotta understand, like, we had the conversation with my dad. Man, and it's like, gosh, like, like we really hurt for to give people. I ask people, why do you need a religion? Why do you need a religion? People can't give me just a concrete answer. Why do you need a religion? Tell me anything out of this book that you couldn't have found out living life. You know what I'm saying? People are like, oh, the wisdom in the book and the will. Live life. You'll gain wisdom. Meet people. Talk to people. You'll gain wisdom. You feel what I'm saying? This book has people thinking they can't do. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. What did you do through Christ that you could not have done yourself? What was it? It's got to be something. It's got to be something amazing. You know what I'm saying? It can't be nothing that you could have did yourself. Show me what Christ did. How did you get through? Oh, I got through this here. I know it couldn't have been nobody but Christ. Yeah, it could have been you.
Right.
You.
Likely. Highly likely it was you. Yeah,
you put that willpower in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, I prayed for this job and I got it. I bet you still had to go fill out that application.
And you had to be in an area where they was offering jobs. Like
Right.
you won't get a person in a third world country who will ever be able to say that. They won't ever get a promotion. They don't even have applications to put in. So please tell me how you can look at your one world and actually think God is real.
Yeah.
Or you can go to another one and they would have the exact same right to say he don't exist based on their reality.
That's crazy.
So if there's a child sitting here saying, okay, I'm 7 years old, my belly right now is touching my stomach. You see the flies all around me. I watched my mama die, right? I watched my grandmother die, all from hunger.
Right.
They used to carry me to the pond just to get dirty water. Now, my uncle does. And frankly, he probably won't last that long. I don't believe in God because he didn't put food on my table. I have a reason to say that.
Yeah.
But a Christian would say he put food on my table,
Right.
so I do believe in God. What about everybody else?
That's right.
You see, because a person who's logical could say, I
That's
don't
right.
believe in God, and I do understand that other people get to eat, but it's based on where they live. See, here's the thing. A person who doesn't believe in God or believe in religion, period, they would know that if a tsunami is coming, they should evacuate because they know no supernatural entity is going to stop it.
Right.
But Christians be evacuating too.
Right.
And it's like, but you
Right.
believe that
But
God
you-
has all the
yeah.
power in the world, but why y'all packing up with the atheists?
Why you packing up?
Why you packing up with the Rastafaris and every other religion? All y'all leaving.
Exactly.
All the Muslims
What
leaving.
happened to that faith?
Where your faith at?
Where is that faith?
Right, stay.
It's faith. Faith is convenient. When you want to, because you stand in that pulpit and you take people money every Sunday preaching that faith stuff. But you was on that freeway too, getting up out of there when them 3 hurricanes was coming up through Florida. You feel what I'm saying? Them wasn't just
And we know we know the world's fair. We
Yeah.
know if a tsunami gonna hit Miami,
it's gonna hit.
If you in Miami when it hit, you don't matter what you believe in, bro. It's gonna happen.
But
we all know that.
But even to that, right? If you have faith, stand on your faith. Stand on your faith. Because how do you know that's not your God testing your faith? But you running. You failed miserably if I was your God. I'm going to look at that. I'm going to say, you ain't got faith.
And I'm gonna take your house.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your house. I'm gonna let it flood over your house, and you're gonna lose everything because you didn't have no faith anyway.
Let's just say you do die. I would think you would be going to heaven, right? Because you stood and you have faith, right? Y'all have faith when it's convenient for y'all. You know what I'm saying? But you on that freeway with me getting up out of there.
Facts.
How can I take you serious? How can I take your faith thing serious? If I got a child drowning in the swimming pool right now, am I going to have faith that Jesus is going to save that child? Or am I going to believe in me? Who am I going to have more faith in?
Right now, if your child,
who am I
if your
going to
child
believe
drowning,
in?
you're going to jump into that.
Yeah.
Even if you can't swim,
Right.
you're going to know Jesus
I'm
ain't
gonna
going to do
try.
nothing for
Yeah,
you.
we
You
gonna
know
die
that.
together.
Somebody come in shooting, you're going to jump in front of that bullet
Right.
for your child. No,
Right.
because you already know God ain't about to show up and
That's
like,
right.
bounce nothing off of nobody.
Yeah, so
when you
I
starve
mean-
and you go to the grocery store because you know God ain't raining
My
down
kid's
from heaven.
hungry.
Right.
What I'm going to do? Sit here and have faith that five pieces about to be delivered to the store. I'm going to get up and go get my kid some food. I'm going to believe in me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's all we trying to tell y'all, man. Like, we got to start asking these questions, man. It's just amazing that, the excuses we get. You know what I'm saying? And for people to call us desperate, you know what I'm saying? If you really stop and look, you guys feel like you can't do anything without this God you never seen. This God that's never... I just asked a question this morning. What does God do? And how do you know he did it? How do you know he did it?
Facts.
How do you know he did it?
Facts.
Because you make the claim, God did this, God did that. And I'm simply say, how do you know?
How you know he did it? How you know it wasn't the devil? Allah. Like I told you, they said Christians are actually getting blessed because Allah blessing them regardless of who they pray to because he just loved them like that. So really it ain't Jesus blessing them. They just think that Jesus is the one blessing them. It's actually Allah. I said, wow.
Argument.
That's powerful. So how do you know it's not Jesus blessing you and you just think it's Allah? He got mad. It's like you never thought about the reason.
Yeah.
How can you get mad?
Exactly. You can ask that either way in every religion. In every religion.
It's like y'all realize y'all arguments are the same, bro.
Yeah.
I'm right. Everybody else is wrong. Those are the devil. This is
Right.
all y'all say the same
And
stuff,
can't
bro.
none of y'all prove why you hit the lottery.
And check this
You
out.
won the lottery to be in the right religion.
Ricky Swink. Ricky Swink, follow Ricky Swink, y'all. I always talk about how you say your God wrote a book. You believe your God wrote a book and you never read it. You believe a God wrote a book,
And
left a book,
but
inspired a book,
right.
and you've never taken the time to read it. Now, Ricky said something that was powerful. He said you went and bought Juanita Bynum's books that's based off the Bible.
Wow.
T.D. Jakes, Paula White, Joel Osteen.
You ain't even read the God's book.
He said, imagine you have a best friend who wrote a book. And your best friend keep like you wrote a book for your best, you wrote a book. And you asking your best friend, you read my book yet? Nah, I ain't read the book.
Yeah.
You ain't read the book?
Yeah.
He said 5, 10 years later, he ain't never read the book, right? You eventually that bother you. He never supported your book. Right. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker though. What if he's read all the reviews about your book? Like what if he say, I ain't read your book, bro, but everybody seemed to give it 5 stars. Everybody loved your book. It's your best friend. He said he loved you. And you said you put your heart in this book. And he ain't read the book though.
That's crazy.
It's like, so it's the question was, his video was about his sister saying F God in a public setting like a barbershop. And how everybody got mad. Ricky's point was,
I heard about that.
all of y'all are saying F God.
Yeah, definitely.
When you read T.D. Jakes' book over the Bible, you saying F God. F God, what T.D. Jakes saying. F God, what Paula White said. So how can you be mad? How can you be mad at anyone outwardly saying it when you say it with your life? Every day you saying it, bro.
Every day. And
it's crazy.
That's what
you don't believe in this dude for real. You don't. There's no way. You never read the book. That's the first step. If you believe in him and you ain't read his book, you're a liar, bro. Like you're lying. There's no way.
So I'm gonna show you, like, you know, I seen a post. I seen a post by a believer that said, I wake up in the morning. I pray to God, then I listen to trap music. I came on that post. And I'm reading all the little believers. I'm reading all their little comments. Oh, this is the realest post I done seen. Oh, I love this. I came on that post. And I said, and y'all wonder why we don't take y'all serious. Y'all wonder why this? Yeah, that post got deleted. That post got deleted because I was getting ready to
still in a trap. And a trap, and a whole trap.
Listen,
trap music.
It's a trap. The biggest trap ever. Man, the biggest trap ever.
And it uses itself to keep you in the trap. Like these people be really, like just imagine you in a cell, right? A prison cell. And on each bar is a scripture.
Right.
Now the gate open. The door ain't even locked, bro.
Man.
And the only reason you won't leave because all these little things saying don't leave out if you do something gonna kill you, something evil out there. You safe in here. It's a freaking box, a cell that's small.
Believe it.
It's a cell that's so small. And you believe that it's safe because someone told you it was safe.
Yeah.
It's a whole world out there. Kind of like that, what's that movie they been talking about, Bird Box?
Yeah.
It's a whole world out there, but you've been stuck in this one little room your whole life, and you believe that if you go outside this room, then it's going to be terror and torture everywhere. You were lied to, and they keep you in prison with your own fear. And it's like the moment that you get some daggum balls, maybe you will read something outside of this stuff and actually question.
I mean, all it takes is the questions, Karen.
They can't even, because they talk they go to hell if they do that. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
A prison,
I'm telling you, if I was the one trying to use this book to control a person, that's definitely what I write in the book. Don't question nothing.
And you can tell that they bound by lies because they ask you to use faith. You asking me to use a tool that you can't use to find the truth to anything. If I say my name is Bartholomew, believe me on faith. If you even ask for my license to prove it, you're wrong. You out of pocket. Right? If you even ask somebody else to validate my name, you're out of pocket.
That's crazy.
I told you my name was Bartholomew.
Right.
On faith. Call me that, bro.
That's right.
I don't care if you do. If you walk up to somebody else and you hear somebody else call me Kevin, don't call me that, bro. If somebody asks you what my name is, say Bartholomew. I don't care how many millions of people you hear call me Kevin.
Right.
It's on faith, bro. So as soon as you say, bro, they all calling you Kevin, what I ask you to do?
Right.
You're right. Bartholomew, my bad.
So let's talk about names, right? You know, I just think wild. You know, I was sitting thinking one day, right? And I'm sitting here like, what does Jesus really sound like? Like, no, I mean, when you look at his characteristics, okay, if you living here on earth, right, you're a police officer, and you see a person who is always in hiding and got a million aliases. I'm reading your little, you got so many names? Like, what? And we never see you. And people say you popping. That don't sound like a criminal to you. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Right.
I mean, that
sounds just like one. Yeah,
sounds like a
right.
criminal to me. Like,
Yeah.
so I say, man, what's up with all these names?
That's one of the things that always bothered me, man, outside of the names part was hiding. Like Jesus always had to hide and like say, God can kill 3,000 Israelites for worshiping a golden calf, but when King Herod wanted to kill all the children, 2 years and younger, to try to kill Jesus, the Son of God, that should have been more offensive than somebody worshiping a golden calf. But with someone on the manhunt to kill his son, he just says evacuate. Mary and Joseph take Jesus to Egypt. And because a king is about to kill so you let all those people's children get killed.
But you
now, you just killed Pharaoh by hardening his heart and just making a bunch of people die. So you proved to us you can send a death angel to do all the work and you don't need men. The very next story, you have men do your dirty work. You don't call death angels no more. Ain't that funny? Wow. He proved to you he can do it. Put blood over your door, because when the death angel come, I thought you knew everything.
You did right.
But now the death angel don't know.
He don't know what doors to go through.
But in order for me to protect you, you got to kill a bunch of lambs too, because you got to do it with their blood. If you do it with a damn cow's blood, then he still won't be able to. It's got to be lamb's blood. It's got to be, right? Because you know the Bible's got to represent Aries, which is a ram, right? It's funny, right? And it's ram backwards is war, right? You see what I'm saying? When you backwards and upside down. All right, so Aries is a war god. So this is why you kill all these sheep. You see what I'm saying? And he worshiped the cow. Don't worship a cow. That should have been a sheep you should have been worshiping, bro. See my point? So we're going to use all these sheep. Now you don't worship no cow. So I'm killing 3,000 of y'all. Wow. So I proved now, I've already proved in the last book, just in the last chapter, I can kill people without the help of man.
That's right.
Well, sort of, because I still need help to kill these sheep. And I need y'all to do the effort to put the blood on all these doors. And it was like 2 million of them. That's a lot of sheep. That's a lot of blood going over doors, right? Now, here's what's crazy. Now, he's proved, but at least he didn't have the pharaohs kill each other or the Israelites go in and kill the pharaohs and all the people of Egypt. He just did it. They died in their sleep. But when it comes to paying back the Israelites, I want you to stab each and every one of them, kill them.
Yeah, up close and personal.
And then later, he opens up the ground and sucks like 30,000 people in it for complaining too much. So he proves he can use elements to kill you, but he don't always do it. Boy. He may send a death angel, but he don't always do that. He may just have you kill each other.
Yeah, and
this dude is weird, bro.
Personalities, like a million of them.
Now here's the thing: we don't see people drop dead no more. We don't see grounds open up and swallow people up for complaining. Right. We only see people killing each.
That's right.
Wow, God can still do one thing, which is have people kill each other, but he can't do the other things that's outside of himself that don't require. God cannot do anything outside of man. So who needs who, bro? Think about it. I always say, bro, who has the power, man or God? If man can make $1 and God asks for a percentage of the dollar that man made, and man puts the actual amount on the dollar, who controls God? Man does. Yeah. If I give you a $100 bill and you have to pay $10 just because I added a zero to it, I control God, because God is demanding from you a number based on what I put on this money. So if I said this was a $3,000 bill, your God would want you to pay $300 off of this thing, and your God knows it still costs 2 cents to print, and he have you overwork yourself just to pay back the government. That's what he do. That's the kind of person that he is, because obviously that's what he does now. That's why I've been trying to tell people, man controls God. It's not the other way around. It's not holy ground until you buy the land and put your 501c3 on it, right? Because it can't be holy ground before. There's no way to appraise that. Just imagine this. You go to buy some land and you call the appraiser to come look at it. They start putting the little sticks in the ground and stuff. They say, they start mumbling amongst each other like, bro, this is actually holy ground. This sells for $30 a square feet, man. Not the normal 1.18. The only way I can see you actually making a profit here is put a church here, because it's holy ground. No, bro, you just calling it holy ground. And the people that's in there accepted Jesus by just because you said it, and they also accept this is holy ground because you said it. There's no way for you to prove it's holy ground. Matter of fact, you got spots of grass out there in the ground that ain't even grew up. It's holy ground. This stuff should be plush green gardens, bro. You can't even get your grass to grow.
Definitely tell the difference.
Bro, yeah. And it's a neighbor right across the street. So that right beside you, right beside the church, it's a person live right there. So where do holy ground stop? Do it go all the way to their house? Because I need to know, bro.
Yeah.
What if like this house was? What if it's a church right here, and all the way up until this point, it's holy ground. So if I pray right here, it's different than if I pray right here.
That's correct.
Like that's the idea of ground being holy,
Yeah.
and all the ground is touching each other. So how does it stop? So holy ground don't exceed the property line.
And that's
Ain't that
yeah,
great? A property line?
Yeah. I mean, that's
Man
like
control
that.
God, bro.
And when we say man control God, you got to think too. If we, as men, as humans, stopped saying Jesus, stopped saying these guys' names, do it for 10 years.
It's over. Stop teaching it to your children for
Stop
10 years.
teaching it to your
it's
children.
over.
Who controls God? Who controls who at that point?
God is gone.
God's gone.
The whole belief system of
I'm
believing that you
telling
can't
you,
have
just
morale
as
without it.
simple.
If you for 10 years taught your children how to manage themselves with their own mind, religion will be done forever, bro. And that's exactly why they gave us religion. Because they know you'll give it to your children early.
Yeah.
Out of fear.
Out of
Because you're
fear.
trying to protect their soul from a hell you ain't never seen.
That's crazy.
That's crazy,
That's
bro.
crazy.
And
you got
that's
that,
why
yeah.
I say, people, ask any of these kids, when were you praying to Jesus? Before I could read. Yeah. You were sitting right here with some food.
Yep.
Barely
God
could
is
even
great.
talk.
God is
Man,
good.
my baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. God is good. Thank you for the food.
Yeah.
Can't even say it.
Yeah.
God will help us be fed.
Yeah.
Daily bread. Amen.
That's right.
Good job, baby.
Yeah.
And you're repeating a prayer back to a God.
Yeah.
Like you think they don't bore the crap out of God? Your child ain't really talking to nobody. They're just holding a memory. They're still trying to remember it. God is great. God is good. Thank you for like, come on,
And then they
bro.
just remember it in rhythm. You know, it's the rhythm of it,
Right.
you know, until they get the words. But yeah, you're right.
And then at night, it's the same thing.
Same night, yeah.
It's like you're a child talking about if I should die. That's a fear that you're putting in your child. If I die before I wake, I want my soul you to take. Like, you don't even know this dude.
We don't even think that. See, and we don't even look at things that simple. That simple. I mean, I have to.
So how can you know right and wrong, bro?
I have
And
to.
all the while they give you Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, and they wonder why your mind be messed up. Why you be so traumatized.
Why we call it child abuse?
Right. They don't know how that's child
is.
abuse.
It really is. Like, y'all force that on them. They kill me with that. When we go against what they believe in, we're forcing our beliefs on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, what happened when I had to be forced to go to church? I ain't wake up and say, yeah, I'm ready to go to church.
I got a good question. Good question. Santa Claus, he doesn't deliver to you if you're naughty, right?
Right.
What if we repent to God on Christmas Eve? Do Santa gotta let that shit go?
He needs to.
if I'm
What would
hey, look,
Jesus do?
I am a new creature.
Yeah.
I am a new creature through
Let
Christ.
me get them gifts, though, man. Like,
He
hey,
better go.
let me get them gifts. I talk to God, man. Like, hey.
I've been bad all year. But I'm asking you to forgive me so Santa will bring me gifts.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so stupid. And here's the thing you don't think about. When was Santa born? When did he die? Does Santa die?
Oh, yeah.
He don't die, dude. He eternal. And he know everything.
Jesus.
And he can go around the whole world every night.
Yeah.
So it's like, isn't that the same? Jesus
Don't it
know when
sound
you're
like
naughty and
Jesus?
nice.
Yeah.
He lived forever. God is always going to be there.
That's why I call him.
And he can be anywhere.
Yeah, I call him Jesus Claus, Santa Claus.
Right, it's like you don't realize
Santa
you're asking
Christ.
your child to believe in the same bill. Look, when did your tooth fairy die?
Right.
She don't. Her story, her legacy is taught to every person. How does she even know that you lost a tooth? She must know everything. Because come on, how does she get into your house? She must be able to fly through the walls and have unlimited power. What does she need with your teeth, though?
Yeah. What's she doing?
And this is what I'm saying. Look, watch this, though. What does God need with your soul?
Yeah.
We like this.
That's a good question.
Leave your tooth to someone who just wants your teeth.
That's a good question.
What if she's some weirdo? If somebody walked up to you and said, hey, bro, if you lost any teeth recently, let me get them. You're going to be like,
What? Like,
what would you want with my teeth? So it's like God wants your soul. For what?
do you want my
You got a
soul
soul factory up there? He wants unlimited worship, and we all trying to get there. That's
good
why I always say,
that's
bro,
good.
look at the parables in the Bible. If the kingdom of heaven is like this. If a fisherman goes and tosses his net in the ocean, and he'll come up with good and bad fish. The Bible says the bad fish he will burn, but the good fish go back home with him. Well, what happens to the good fish when they get back home with him? Why does the fisherman go looking for fish? to eat them. So if you're gonna burn the ones that's bad, don't the good ones go into the oven too? You ain't gonna eat them raw. You're gonna cook them too. The same way they say, okay, the kingdom of heaven is like a farmer. He goes to the wheat and the chaff, and the chaff, the wheat that's not good, he burns it. But the wheat goes back home with the farmer. Okay, then what happens to it when it gets back with the farmer? Does it not go into the oven and become bread for consumption as well? Okay, what happens to the sheep when he makes it back to the shepherd's farm? Is he not gonna get skinned for his fur when it's cold? And they're gonna eat him when it's Easter time, right? And they're gonna milk his joker for nutrients. Is he not? So please tell me, it seems like the shepherd needs the sheep. He's using them as a fox. You ain't never seen no shepherd, bro, out in the daggum green, frolicking and loving sheep. They don't. So it's like sheep in Christianity, they take pride in calling their God a shepherd. A shepherd is who milks you.
Wow.
A shepherd is who shaves you. A shepherd is who lynches you, slits your throat, and use your body for meat. For his survival. When he need money, he's skinning your ass. When he need money, he milk your ass. Whenever he need money, he chop your ass up.
We got the wrong thing about the
and you love him.
shepherd.
And you worried about a wolf who can only take one of y'all at a time. He gonna kill all. This shepherd gonna kill all of y'all.
Got y'all in a pack.
Ain't that crazy, bro?
Oh, yeah.
He your heavenly shit. You trust this man?
And that's what I be talking about when I talk about the mind being a weapon and you're not being allowed to bring it into religion. You're not being allowed to bring common sense into religion. You're not being allowed to bring logic into religion or into churches. I said it's almost like Jesus got a security team that pat you down like, you can't come in here with that. Get that up out of
You
here.
be just as logical as believing in Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, I agree.
I promise you, bro. It's so ridiculous, man.
I agree.
So,
Yeah.
listen, family. This right here is a beast. Listen, how long it's been going? Oh, dang, it's a good video. We got to put that whole joint. I know your other camera probably done died.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, probably use that or just
You got the full thing.
Cali, man, tell them where to find you, bro.
Hey, man, you can find me on Facebook, really, man. I be on Facebook most of the time, man, on Cali Williams, or you can find me on Instagram, _King Cali, but
Also, Cali's a great videographer, man.
Yeah.
If you ever see like the Be Evolution documentary, which is coming to you guys real soon, that's actually why we're linking up today. We're working on that first episode to get that to you. But he does movies, music videos, weddings. Man, if you need, listen, y'all, we talk about community building, all right? It's really all we talk about. Okay, if you guys are going to film, all you conscious people, weddings, whatever you're doing, family reunions, and you want it filmed, keep the money in the conscious house. Yeah. Hit up Cali. The dude is a beast. Follow him too, because I'm telling you, he woke up like maybe a year or so ago, and already he waking up a whole ton of people. So he's a perfect example of like, what do I do now? Because that's what people are always asking, like, what do I do next? Do what Cali did. You understand? Cali found out the truth and started showing people. Really just asking them to think. Like, look,
just think.
This stuff needs to be thought about. It's not, none of us can, like, bro, we're not accepting that religion is true with no evidence.
With no evidence.
Anymore. Or anything
with no
else.
evidence.
Right.
Like, that's all it is. It's like, why do I believe this?
We have no reason.
And that's what I had to wake up to, like, wait a minute, why? Why do I believe this? That's a big question. That's when I tell you, I ask people, stop. Just ask yourself, why do I believe this? And some people have actually stopped to actually think and say, why do I believe this? You get what I'm saying? I mean, I get what we've been taught. I grew up in the church. Parents are preachers to this day. I grew up in the church. I personally had to stop and say, wait a minute. So that's all we're trying to get y'all to do, man,
Self-examination, family. Like he said, what reason do I have to believe? And if you realize that you have no rational reason to have your belief, do away with the belief. And then just study it until you know. So people say, Kevin, do you believe in such and such? I don't have enough information, so I can't believe in something that I cannot prove. Just stay there.
Yeah.
You don't need all the answers.
And there's nothing wrong at all with saying, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Nobody
expects you to know everything. And to not believe or accept the belief in a God with no evidence is not presupposing that you also know everything. It just says, it's the same way if I tried to ask you guys to believe in Wolverine. And if you said I don't believe in Wolverine, I now would presuppose that you know all the answers to the universe. Yeah. That's not fair at all. Yeah. And so you can't say because you can't give me a made-up creation story, then my creation story must exist.
I get
because
that.
Every holy book has a creation story, right. And it attributes it to their God. And to be honest, the Quran makes more sense than the Bible. It makes more sense than the Bible's creation story. So if I was going off of creation stories, I'd be Muslim over Christian because it makes more sense to me. See what I'm saying? So it's like everybody has a creation story. Obviously, Hinduism has a creation story. Every God does. So it's like, don't say who created the universe. It's almost like if you go back to a time where
they do that.
People believed that the whole earth was floating on a turtle's back, right? When they said the whole earth was on a turtle's back. When you go up to somebody and say there is no giant turtle, people will say, well, then what's carrying the earth? And if you don't know that answer, then shut up, because it's a turtle then. Right. That's crazy! So, if I don't know the answer, it doesn't predispose that your crap is real.
Right, and that's how they do it. Like, they'll say, you know, they'll tell me their creation story, and I'll say, how do you know that actually happened? Well, what do you say? What do you say? I say, I don't know.
Here's a perfect example.
I say, I don't know.
Before we end the video, family, here's a perfect example. This is what it's like. All these grapes are in this cup, right? A believer says, there's 477 grapes in that bowl. And we say, I doubt that.
Yep.
Right? Well, how many is in here then?
I don't
Rationally, I don't know.
I don't know.
Aha!
See?
But that means
I be like, what?
You know how many other numbers there are besides the one you just randomly named?
Easy.
That's what it's like, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have any, what did they say to me? You don't have any, what they call it, theory to bring to the table. I said, no, I don't. No, but I'm not going to make a claim that I can't prove.
It's the same thing with
I'm not going to make a claim.
You have
I'd just rather say, I don't know.
You have the whole universe, you don't know who created it. Mm-hmm. We're going to say, what's in this cup? Many things can be in this cup. Yep. But because you don't know the answer, you say God. Come on, man.
All because
so you tell me what's in the cup then. I don't know. You can't see it.
I don't know.
Aha!
Listen.
How do y'all think that's a win?
Right.
It's like, how do you think that's a win?
Right. Well, I say, listen, I don't have to explain anything. I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know. I don't have the burden of proof to prove anything. But when you tell me a God did,
that's the
that's
problem.
a claim.
You got to prove that.
You got to prove that. So I won't make a claim
Not
I
a
can't
God,
prove.
Your God.
Hey, listen, prove that. That's what I went back and forth with a guy like, well, you don't have any theory. How you gonna?
That's the like. Well, you just believe something come from nothing. Listen, I know that's a hard thing to deal with, but that don't make your God real.
It still don't make you.
At all. What are you talking about, bro?
And even if you change the color on them,
right?
Hey, got black, white, green. Ain't none of them.
No evidence. No evidence. No evidence.
At the end of the day, religion is called a belief for a reason. It's called a belief for a reason.
And if we were in court with no evidence,
thank you.
It's thrown out.
Thank you.
Right?
No evidence.
Family,
go in there,
dope deal.
Go in there with Judge Judy talking about some. I believe she raped him or he raped her.
They did the rape kit, nothing came up, non-conclusive. They found no evidence on the body, non-conclusive. Man, it sounds like you making crap up, but I just strongly believe that.
Yeah.
Man, it looks like this dude has never even been within 150 feet of her. Actually, he's never even been to Milwaukee. Man, he lives all the way in Idaho.
Yeah.
Why do you believe that he messed with? I just believe it. His picture on Facebook just looked like he would have raped. But like, you sound crazy, lady. It's gonna get wiped out.
And then she asked me, Mr. Cali, did this person rape this person? I'm gonna say, Judge, I don't know. I ain't got no evidence to bring to the table.
That means you did.
I ain't got to bring no evidence to the table. I said I don't know. You know, I ain't got no evidence. You said that man raped that man. You were now Judge Judy gonna tell you, present your evidence. You see what I'm saying? It's just that simple, y'all. Like,
and that's how the world works, man.
You know,
you can't.
Come on, y'all.
You can't apply rational thinking to everything else. And then not apply rational thinking to your beliefs. Like me and Callie was talking earlier. You can tell somebody you can tell someone say, such and such floated away into the sky. And we'll say, boy, you kidding me, ain't no way. Right. But if he say, it's in the Bible, they'll be like, oh, okay. All of a sudden, and that's childish. Come on, y'all, we need to grow up. But either which way, man, don't you got a slogan you in your videos with or no?
Nah, I don't got no slogan, man.
Well, you know me, I'm always coming at you with be evolution, be the change that you want to see, and no candle loses its flame from lighting another. And that's me and Cali, man. That's called the X's and O's. If I can remember, it's the religious rhetoric that we receive.
Yeah, the ridiculous.
Absolutely. Yeah, ridiculous religious rhetoric that we receive.
Yeah, y'all, we gotta think, man.
Peace, family. Love you all.